So I'm on time.
You are. Yeah. You are. Perfectly on time.
Good afternoon and welcome to the City of Coos Bay Parks Commission meeting for May 15th. We will go ahead and start with roll call. We'll start with online.
Carmen Matthews, City Councilor.
Patrick Bringardner.
Ariane Lyons.
Kurt Benward.
Jamie Faraday.
Harv Shabothi.
Jennifer Wersing, standing in for Greg Hamblett. And just one point, we have to be out of here by 5 o'clock because there's a budget meeting right after.
Christina Teixeira. And Amy Edmonds.
Thank you so much. We will start with public comment.
Tristan Reeser, Coos Bay, Oregon. I wanted to ask about the skate park and where we are at on it. Last I knew, you guys had came to a consensus for it. I haven't heard anything either way since.
And Jennifer, part of why Tristan's here is I didn't see it in the summary, so I was just wanted to be able to have the conversation.
Yes. So we sent out a letter to the surrounding neighborhood as the commission requested. There's a deadline to respond to comments, and it's going to be on the agenda next time to talk about what comments we received and next steps.
Okay. So probably not going to be able to get it back open by June 21st.
Well,
June 21st is National Go Skateboarding Day. It's actually
Okay.
international now.
you could always have a meeting, special meeting.
I think when I discussed with Greg that the goal was really to have it open by that time. And so I think we can take a look at maybe looking at the comments at our work session and reviewing them then. And then if there's if there's a conundrum that results from that, then we can go further. But we can review them at the work session.
That's a great idea, Chair. Okay.
I did stop by the skate park and look at what needs to be done in order to make it safe, and I should be able to do it in one day. I don't really want to rush it, but it seems like that's probably how it's going to end.
So June 21st. And we'd like to give you a little time before then.
That's what I'm
Okay,
kind
I will
of.
pass that on to Greg.
Okay.
June 20th at 5 p.m.
That's what I'm expecting.
Yeah.
Can I make a quick
Tristan,
comment about the skate
will you
park?
need some help? Because I'll volunteer.
It's mainly just cutting the uprights, and I'm just going to cut them flush so that there isn't extra work to be done. Make sure that there's no sharp edges,
Yeah.
and that it can be rolled across.
Okay.
And then fix the exterior, and I'm probably going to use some of the fencing I take out to fix the exterior.
Perfect.
So
Awesome.
I shouldn't need any supplies. I should have everything in my truck. So
Okay. Awesome. Thank you so much.
Quick comment.
Yes.
On the skate park. I drive by there all the time because I live up the hill off of 10th. One time when there's some tension because it's closed, so I hope we can resolve it as soon as possible, because one time I drove by it and there were some young folks out in the tennis court park skateboarding. And as I drove up, a police vehicle drove up and 2 police officers got out and talked to them, and I think probably told them to vacate. And as I was going here to this meeting today, when I drove by it, the gate's still locked, but there were about 4 people out there skateboarding and also sitting at the park bench. So it's kind of like it's in a never land, and I'm sure the police don't necessarily want to respond, and I'm sure the skateboarders would like to use it. So I really do hope we can get it resolved as soon as possible.
skateboarding in general is for at-risk youth. It doesn't surprise me. You tell them no, they're going to hop the fence anyways.
Yeah.
I would rather get it fixed and be safe so that they can
Yeah.
use it.
Yeah, that'd be perfect. Awesome. Thank you so much for being here. And public comment, Cricket?
I'd like to.
You have 3 minutes
Okay.
at the most.
Okay. There's a lot that can be said in 3 minutes.
Okay, 2.5.
No, it's not done yet. Just a second.
Oh, my goodness.
I'm here to talk about the boardwalk. I went to the other meeting at the fire hall.
Oh.
Putting claims day at the boardwalk.
Yeah.
And I realized it wasn't a meeting. So here's some photos to document the conditions of the boardwalk this time. And I'm extremely interested in the preservation of the boardwalk for both our livability in Coos Bay and our economic vitality. Today I had a marine contractor come down, Brian Cranick, and take a look at the conditions of the boardwalk. And my quick suggestion is that the Parks Commission have a field trip either before or maybe next month, as he can point out the conditions of the boardwalk and the longevity of how long it will last without proper maintenance of it. And there's so many things that he pointed out. It's probably about, in 10 years, it'll be gone. Mm-hmm. It's breaking up completely. And I know the new budget committee meeting has, how much have they appropriated for next year?
$250,000.
Yeah, so that's adequate to do a few things. And I've been talking to Jimmy Faraday, and you know, I want to take his lead on how he presents different things with things that we need to do for our city. But the boardwalk and the docks are in dire condition. The city's going to be with the State Marine Board and the other entities and agencies that are taking a look at the conditions of that. It's deplorable. The people that are down there that are laying boats loose and drifting out into the bay are still down there. And I'm just very upset that things like that are occurring at our front porch. That's our front porch of our community. Our tourists come in and they go down the boardwalk and they look. The conditions and the pigeon manure that have been down there for months without being cleaned up. It's an embarrassment, and I'm sorry, but it is. And I don't know why, but we can do better. The vision has to be extended out many years, because in 10 years it's going to be broken apart. The concrete's breaking up, the collars around the posts are deteriorating, and I don't even have all the photos for it. So I'd really like you to consider that we go on a field trip and have a professional take a look at it with you to see what's happening to it. And I think it'll be a good idea. And then the other thing is, I can bring a tall ship to be moored down there. The Serenity, they were told, the people that own it were told that there isn't room to have a tall ship down on the boardwalk. There isn't room. There's derelict boats down there. Have you seen the conditions of some of those boats? Have you? Have you gone down and looked? Please do it. So why don't we go down and take a look at it? All of you don't need to go down, but some of us could go down. It's an economic vitality of our community. And I'm absolutely passionate. I try to control my enthusiasm and be a watchdog that doesn't bite, but we need to do better. We need to be creative. We don't have any corporate sponsors that are supporting the boardwalk. We can do so much. I think we have some insular thinking that's occurring in our community. We've had the same people taking a look at things. I don't think anybody is knowledgeable about maritime conditions, but we have people that can help us understand that. We have to protect what we've already invested in. It's our responsibility. How many other parks generate revenue besides the swimming pool? That's a question. I know you're not supposed to respond to public comment, but we certainly have that.
So we charge mortgage fees, but
And then as far as the mortgage agreements, I talked to Greg. Our mortgage agreements, if you looked at them, which is your responsibility, have you looked at it in comparison to other mortgage agreements at other marinas up and down the coast and the Charleston Marina? it wouldn't take a week to take a look at the other mortgage agreements that we could model after. I've downloaded them, I can present them to you. It doesn't take a long time to come up with a new mortgage agreement that protects our assets. I'm absolutely begging you to help me have that be a community asset that continues and is perpetuated. And I would suggest that you consider to ask the City Council to have a request for proposals for the boardwalk and the docks. It doesn't cost any money to have an RFP, does it? No, but then you'll be able to have a survey done to see what needs to be done to maintain our wonderful front porch of our community. I want to adopt a park, as Jamie and I have discussed. We can do it, and I'd like to adopt the boardwalk as a park that is within the jurisdiction that you put out there for the community to adopt a park. I've talked to businesses along Front Street. They all want it to be better. The way that they repair things down there, they cut the grass, all the clippings are left to dry on the boardwalk. It's just embarrassing. I hope my 3 minutes has been well utilized. I'm here to help you. The government says I'm the government and here to help you. I'm a citizen that will help the government. So there it is.
Thank you, Tom.
We're not done.
No, we're not.
And to deny to have this ship down on the boardwalk because there isn't room because of all the derelict vessels that are down there is ridiculous. Mm-hmm. Let's have a tall ship for Coos Bay down at the boardwalk and make room with the derelict vessels that are there. There's a sign on one vessel that the city said in February of 2025 that it must be removed in 30 days or it's going to be auctioned off. It's still down there. Billiter Marine will get rid of those derelict vessels. We need to clean it up. We need to have regulations in our mortgage agreements to keep up those boats so they look like Stan's boat down there. Have you seen it, the Westfall 32? It's beautiful. That's how, within the mortgage agreements, we can create some rules that can be followed by the mortgage down there. And when I hear that we're not going to allow liveaboards for some reason, let's have off the docks and have restrooms for the people that are living at the boardwalks. Do not say, no liveaboards. Let's create a situation where we can have liveaboards and generate more revenue for the city and have a nice place for it to go. I guess I'll complete my presentation.
Thank you, Tom, so much. I think we are in agreement that something does
I can't quite hear you.
I think we're in agreement that something does need to be done down there. We have also discussed many times doing an updated master plan for the area that looks at expansion. So
Yeah. And I know the finances are short, but we don't have any corporate or business sponsorships on there. We don't have any art like the abandoned boardwalk. Mm-hmm. We can do all of that. We can have plaques where people donate money. You know, like the park benches that are down there that some people have done. We can raise money. Let's get with it.
All right. Thank you, Tom. All right, we're going to move on down to action item 3A, Marshfield Cemetery update.
This is different. All right. So Cricket Souls, and give you the update for a little bit of April and May. We didn't start out great with things in that OBAB decided that it wasn't going to work for them, and they've done a lot of good, and they switched to Toppets Park, and I'm sure they accomplished a lot of things up there, but it made us have to pivot and work pretty hard to get, we did not get the same amount of work done, but we did what we could do. So then after that, the historic cemetery grants were reviewed, and we were the first loser, which, so that was $4,000. We came close, and actually we were tied with two other cemeteries, And they did pick one up from that group to give some remaining funds to, just like they did for us the last time. And that group was working with the college. And I think it was a really good thing because they were talking about training students and that to work on cemeteries. And I'd love to see if SWAC has, I don't know if it would fit in their agroecology or any of the other programs they have at SWAC, because that's, Clatsop College does a good job with that, and we should look into that as well. So those were our two not so good things. We did have our workday on to make up for 2 hours from OBAB. We had 2 days. So we had students, we had 30 students and 5 adults show up on the Friday, May 9th, and they did a lot of the cleanup, and we were donated, and we'll get a thank you note off to them now that we've used it. We got a donation of some bulk bags. I learned about them at one of the OBAB parks. They have them for the watershed, and they're like a yard square, and you can put debris in it. So this will be the first time we've used it, so we'll see what they think when they come to pick it up. So we have 3 of them quite full, and they're gonna bring the lift truck and get them up there. We also have had lots of rubble and still more to be moved. So that's where we are with that. 1/3 of phase 3 has been finished, and that money is all in hand, and the contractors are looking to be paid. So we have one more grant to be decided in June, and cross our fingers, and that's a $10,000 grant. If that doesn't happen, we need to figure out a way that we can actually go forward with these, because we need to get them done while they're still willing to accept the assessment. We also had one of the highlights of Saturday was relatives that were from out of town stopped by and assured us that yes, he really did die on July 15th, Bastille Day, from fireworks. So we never knew if that was just a wives' tale. But he told us some more about the family and then offered a donation. I'm thinking $20. No, he brought out his $100 bill. So it again brings up the point, most of us don't carry $100 bills in our wallets. And I would really like to see the potential of bringing the foundation up so people have a way to donate that's easy, and while they're thinking of it, they can donate. So our next, not quite the cemetery thing, but it is, we will get out, Dave Crandall's supposed to be trying to get in there and do what he can in this short time. We have our Memorial Day Assembly on May 22nd, so we ask people to be seated by 10:30 at the Marshfield Auditorium, and the program starts at 10:45, goes to about noon, and then there's conversation and refreshments afterwards. So I think that's the main things, other than looking for other options.
All right. Thank you so much. We appreciate you.
You're welcome.
All right, moving on down to action item 3B, park-related projects and grants updates.
Staff will provide monthly reports to the Park Commission on grants, capital projects, and operations to promote transparency, encourage feedback, and support engagement in park, bicycle, and pedestrian initiatives. At the John Toppitz Park, the Community Wildfire Risk Reduction Grant, the city was awarded $75,000 for defensible space, and that work has begun. Mingus Park restrooms, Oregon Parks and Recreation Department, the city was awarded $343,464 through the Oregon Parks and Recreation Department's local government grant program. Judith Ann Mogan Foundation, the foundation awarded $50,000 towards the city's match requirement for the local government grant program. T-Mobile Hometown Grant, a $50,000 grant application was submitted on January 15th, 2025 to further supplement the funding required for the project, still awaiting a decision. Lowe's Hometown Grant, the city applied for $45,000 through this program on January 21st, 2025, aiming to support the restroom improvements. A decision is anticipated around June 30th, 2025. Bay Area Sportsmen's Association, a $2,000 grant application was submitted to assist with additional project costs. KFC Foundation, a $10,000 grant application was submitted on April 3rd, 2025 to further supplement the funding required for the project. A decision is anticipated June 30th, 2025. Front Street improvements. Oregon Community Pass, the city submitted an application on January 13th, 2025 requesting funding for 30% design of the multi-use path. Staff to recommend projects mid-late June that will then go to Oregon Transportation Commission at their 31st meeting for approval. Mingus Park Community Building, the foundation, or the Ford Family Foundation awarded $25,000 in support of the restoration efforts. Rotary Coos Foundation, a $10,000 grant was awarded. Kinsman Foundation awarded $75,000. Coquille Community Tribe Fund awarded $5,000. National Register of Historic Places, the city submitted an application on June 28th, 2024 to have the Mingus Park Community Building added to the National Register of Historic Places. The application has been submitted to the National Park Service. A final decision is expected early July 2025 pending federal review. If you don't mind, I'm gonna pass through the Marshfield Pioneer Cemetery because I didn't get an update this time. Capital improvements, Mingus Park restrooms. The city has a fully executed grant agreement and is working to match requirements. Staff are obtaining updated quotes and preparing to begin upgrades on the baseball field restrooms. Prefabricated units have a 10 to 12 month lead time. Safe routes to school, the draft plan was reviewed by the Park Commission and project management team. While concerns were raised about presentation quality and omissions, notably the Sunset Middle School, both groups identified priority project. Clarification was provided on funding eligibility. Projects on school property, Sunset's internal loop, are ineligible for ODOT construction grants, but remain in the plan for long-term reference. The plan will inform the city's application for the January 2026 SRTS construction grant. While adoption is not required, incorporating the plan into the city's TSP or adopting it separately may improve competitiveness. Finalization is expected in June 2025. Mingus Park Community Building, stabilization work is underway at the historic WPA area cabin. Cement stairs were removed, a temporary exit installed, and foundation work using helical piers is contracted with terra firma for $47,432.
I'll just take the Toppitz Park Lower Dam. We actually opened up bids within this last 2 weeks. It was awarded. It came in significantly under budget, which we were very happy about. The pre-con meeting is going to occur within the next couple weeks, and then we'll get a schedule. So when Greg comes back next month, he'll give you some more. It'll probably be underway.
Visitor Information Center landscaping. Seasonal landscaping was completed at the Visitor Information Center. Work included pruning, weeding, and new plantings to maintain a welcoming and attractive public space. Mingus Park flower installation. Park staff completed spring flower installations in Mingus Park. These enhancements add seasonal color and support pollinator species while improving the overall aesthetics of the park. And the John Toppitz trail marker replacement. Damaged or missing trail markers at John Toppitz Park, I believe, have all been completed at this point.
It's here somewhere. The number of, did you ask about how many markers?
They're all done, aren't they?
No.
No.
7, 8, 9, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 through 22, 24, 27, 28, 30, 32, 34 have not been adopted yet, according to Coco's latest info. Did you get one of these?
I did not, so we still have 34 more markers to go.
Yeah, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, I was there for part of the installation, and it didn't seem like there were more than a dozen.
So the
posts.
ones we got funding for have been replaced, though.
Yeah, yeah.
And
They're
that's it for
beautiful.
my updates.
Working our way through it. Question about the rewilding project. I get questions almost every other time I go swimming by the manager there.
Okay, so that area is very saturated. We are just waiting for it to dry out. We anticipate it's going to dry out. We're hoping June, and as soon as it does, we are going to mobilize. We want it done just as bad. So I hear you, and thank you for your patience.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the update. All right, moving on to action item 3C, Adopt a Park Pilot Program Status Report. Jamie, are you handling this one?
I'll give it my best shot. Let me see here. I was supplied this, along with Carmen and Patrick, by our faithful and here we go. Coco Sutton put this report together. Quarterly report, community building, as you heard, has some work done for the foundation. So how many did not read the report so far? I don't need to go through this unless there's some questions.
Do any of the commissioners have questions about the quarterly report for the Adopt a Park pilot program? I know that we are looking at it and evaluating it, and come next month, we will be discussing the continuation or expansion of the Adopt a Park program to possibly look at it in other locations. Go ahead.
And a question came up in my mind, the process that Coco set forth with the Adopt a Park, getting people to sign in and that sort of thing, would that apply to any sort of adoption such as the boardwalk or any other part of the parks?
Oh, I think we could transfer that over really
Yeah.
easy. She did a lot of
Yeah.
the legwork.
Yeah, so the groundwork has been set for the community to take part in our deteriorating parks, so.
Yeah, that's why it was the pilot program. She met with the attorneys, everything went through so that we could scale up this program and apply it to larger projects like the boardwalk, other projects in John Topics, things like that. So this was kind of the dip in the toe and seeing how it works, but got all of our T's crossed and I's dotted so that we can go after some of the larger projects.
And if there's anybody to dot I's and cross T's, it's Coco Sutton. Even though she's not on the commission anymore, she is a big part of this
Yeah, for sure.
system.
Any other commissioner questions or comments about the Adopt a Park pilot status update? Yep, all right. Going on down to action item 3D, Memorial Cross plaque relocation discussion.
Okay.
As you'll see in your packet, there are 3 locations of recommendations.
And maybe if you can't, it looks like Amy's going to try to share her screen. So at the last work session, this topic came up, the Vietnam Memorial Cross that's been in Mingus since 1972. We have to relocate it because of the Mingus Park restrooms. That's the grant that Christina just wrote about. Right now, if you could scroll down just a little bit, Amy, right now, if you don't know, it's really located kind of centrally in the grassy area there at the North 10th Street.
It's the only thing casting a shadow.
It's underneath a tree. We should have marked it on there. We really should have. But we would like to propose to relocate that so we can site restrooms. This commission asked us to find 3 locations, so we did. The first location actually just moves it a little bit to the northeast, and it's still going to be very visible. It's still going to be right there at that North 10th Street entrance. So there's the first location with that red dot on the exhibit. If you go north a little bit, so as you go north on the walking path is bound by the pond to the west, and then this grassy area to the east. And that second red dot, that's the second location that staff has identified. And then if you could go to the next exhibit. Oh. And why she's getting there, the next exhibit is just a little bit to the north. Thank you, Amy. A little bit south, or if you go a little bit down. Okay. And you can see how this is in the grassy area, again, to kind of the northeast side of the trail and just south of the gazebo and the amphitheater area. So all three locations are viable. If staff was to give a recommendation, we would give that far southern location. Jamie?
I think the furthest south, either two of the furthest south would be my choice, given that the one in the north, and all of these should be tested for saturated soil underneath, because the one on the north is definitely a spring, near an active spring. So I would just say the closer the better, and those look suitable, and do some, if you can, you have SHPO.
We have the tools.
Yeah.
I'm with Jamie. I like the two that are farther to the south. I don't, and I've walked by there too. It does get marshy up above there, so I don't think that's necessarily the best place for it. The one that's farther south that's on there is that close to the flagpole?
It is.
Is that what we're talking about?
Yes.
Yeah. So, it would probably cost, if I look at, at having to be moved, the one, and I'm speculating, the one that may cause the least amount of public reaction would be moving it the fewest, the least distance from where it is. And then also being next to the flagpole may be more appropriate than just in the grassy spot off to the side there. So if I have to pick between those two, mine's the furthest south one next to the flagpole. Still visible to people when they come in, moved the least amount. So that's my 2 cents worth.
Carmen?
I would generally agree with both Kurt and Jamie on that one. Yeah, the farther north one is definitely in that saturated spot. And this map doesn't seem to show the pad for the flagpole, but having a pad already there seems like a nice potential for siting that. I don't know if you're planning on putting it on the pad with the flagpole or adjacent to that pad. And
Yeah, I think
I'm not sure.
Jason.
Yeah, I think they were proposing adjacent to the pad.
Yeah, not on the flagpole.
Okay. Well, it makes sense to be clustered right there to me, so that's where I would tend to go.
Thank you, Carmen.
And that far north spot, there's a lot of activity there in the summer.
Yeah.
People backing in to unload sound equipment and everything for the concerts. It seems like it could definitely get hit by
Good point.
by something. Someone backing up.
Harv?
My thought, I guess, is the less movement, the better. People are kind of used to the spot, so I'm kind of inclined to go that direction.
Okay, thank you. And I'm the opposite. So I think the northern spot's totally out. It makes sense for me to not be near the stage. I actually like the grassy location, not the flagpole location, because I am concerned that it being in a more prominent location near the flagpole is going to reignite the entire conversation that we had a couple of years ago. So I'd like to reiterate that in my mind, this is a temporary move until we work with the local veterans organizations to have a memorial park location set up. And so That's my feeling, is that it would be nice that it's in another location closer to 101 that memorializes the veterans and collects our memorials that we have scattered throughout the community.
I'm with having it being considered a temporary move, but that Veterans Park is probably a ways off in the future. Probably needs to be done before that.
We have temporary structures that were built in 1971 that everybody's still using, so.
Yeah.
And we got temporary World War II structures we're still using, so.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand the concept of temporary is somewhat permanent here.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that we need to move it to one of those two spots that we kind of all agree on, because the restrooms are going to go in long before the memorial site for veterans is picked and developed, I would think.
I agree. I just would like the caveat in there that we understand that it is likely or potentially could move at some point in the future to a more consensus location representing our veterans.
Having worked with a lot of the concrete and the memorials at the cemetery, I think it'd be important with your thing in mind that maybe it would move again, that whenever it's placed in a new site, there's sort of a sacrificial base put in it that they know that they can take it up again. And I think that'd be really important for someone to look at how it comes out of there and have something that it can be moved to its third location if that's necessary.
That's perfect. Thank you, Cricket. All right, so I'm looking for a motion, if we're ready for such.
I move that the memorial be placed in one of two of the southern locations in Mingus Park that have been designated.
Well, that's not very specific, Jamie.
Would you like to clarify your motion or withdraw
with
it?
the input of staff's hydrology testing.
I think we need a specific location.
Well, there's two in the south and one in the north of the pond.
He's
correct?
saying just pick one, Jamie.
Just pick one.
And then if it doesn't work, then they can do the other one.
Can I amend your motion to
Sure.
cite the location near the flagpole? Sorry, Ariane,
That's fine.
but I'm gonna shoot for the goal here and see if we can make it land.
So we have.
So the middle one?
Yeah,
It would
I
be the
couldn't
furthest
understand
south.
that.
Jamie, will you just withdraw your motion? and
I will
start
withdraw
over?
my motion.
Thank you.
Take over, Carmen.
All right, I move to relocate the memorial cross to the furthest south location, which is nearest to the flagpole.
Thank you.
Second.
I have a first and a second. Any further discussion?
I realize your concern about raising a controversy again and wanting to move it up to the other location. But to me, it's kind of half if you do it one way and half if you do it the other. If you move it way up there, the people that really want it prominent are going to be upset. And for the people that really don't want it in the park at all, moving it up there, they're going to be happy with. I don't think you're going to get totally away from it one way or the other, to tell you the truth. So I'm still in support of the one farthest south.
And I agree with that, and I understand that. And I think as long as the information that's put out about it says that we're planning on doing a base so that it can be potentially relocated in the future, because there is an interest in our community to do a more inclusive veteran memorial location. Any further discussion? I'll call for a
Can
vote.
I-
Oh, Carmen?
Can I amend my motion to include what you just said?
Yes, you can.
Okay, so amended.
Okay, can we get it amended on a second amend?
Sure.
Sure, okay. getting in the weeds. All right, so I have a first and a second on the amended motion. I'll call for a vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries. Number 4, future agendas. In front of you, you see our future agendas. Take a look at that. At our next work session, we are going to discuss the feedback from the letters from the skate park. And we're going to discuss, I think that's it. That's all we got. So far, until we add more stuff. Does anybody have any other additional items that they want to add to the agendas?
I would like to bring up the Park Foundation.
Okay.
Cricket has spoke to me several times about a grant to start that, but I need more information, like we need to choose a name, recruit a board director, file articles of incorporation.
Okay.
One thing is it's not currently set as a nonprofit, which kind of limits it on what it's eligible for.
Okay. Let's add that to the work session discussion. We'll reiterate some of the stuff we talked about. Okay. All right. Any other items of concern or joyousness that we would like to add to the agendas? Because it doesn't have to always be complaints. All right. Moving on, staff commissioner closing comments so we can get out in 13 minutes and they can have the room. Comment?
No comment.
A comment and a question. The question is, I noticed in our update on the projects and that the terra firma folks could do the foundation stuff at the community building, and it looks like they were going to start the geotech, and that was going to be completed sometime in May. Are we on board? Are we on the road to do that?
The geotech has been complete, yep.
Okay. And when would we expect them to actually start stabilizing the building?
So what we're doing now is just finishing up the final touches of our building permit. And so the geotech the engineer is talking to our building official, and I think it's just dotting i's and crossing t's.
Jennifer, excuse me. The building permit has been secured. The contractor just provided the schedule and work begins at the very end of this month.
Super.
So there was a change order extending the deadline for completion, and it must be done by June 15th now.
Thank you.
Cool, thank you. When I was walking by the upper part of Mingus Park, right above the swimming pool, where I don't know, is it cedar or whatever that, and then we have the little steep road in the park that goes up and it goes to that picnic area. There's just 2 standing posts there with no sign anymore. I don't know what sign was originally there, but there's just two posts. And it looks kind of funny. So it would be nice to either take them down or put a sign up, I guess. So
I believe in the master plan there is a photo of said
Okay.
apparently former now sign.
And I hope we can get the skate park thing resolved quickly, because it would be nice to have it open back up for the people that want to use it. So I guess that's it for me.
All right, thank you. Jamie?
2 things. One's germane to Tristan's interest, and that is I was at Millicoma this morning, and one of the secretaries plays pickleball, and she just wrote a note to Greg asking that she knows there's 2 courts that are in town near Mingus Park, and she says, if we can just have one of those with a pickleball, that would be great. Because getting into Boys and Girls Clubs is not as easy as it used to be. And so tennis, pickleball should be kept at one of the 2 was her recommendation. The second thing is, this weekend is, as you know, the Mayfly Festival, and I put in front of everybody a map that's not color, but if you use this QR code, you can get to the color map, and you're all invited, of course. Anybody in the community can come to the Mayfly Festival. It should be a good one. There's going to be plenty of rain to watch the water flow down the Mingus watershed.
Follow the raindrop.
That's right.
Harv?
seconding what I've just heard on the Mayfly. I was at a Audubon meeting last night, and it seemed about 3 or 4 different groups sitting in there. We're going to be from the watershed to the Audubon group. A ton of folks are going to be at Mayfly. It's definitely going to be worth the effort to be there. Let's hope the weather holds. Other than that, I'm very sympathetic to what I heard from Tom. I mean, realistically, when you look at it from the Downtown Association standpoint, quite honestly, the asset that we have in this community that really does need to be saved and preserved is, in fact, that whole area that he just referred to. So I agree it should be a priority, and I'd love to see us do what we can to make that happen.
Here, can I mention one thing? It's going to cost millions of dollars in 5 to 10 years for that asset. I mean, it's falling apart, and I beg some of you to come down and take a look at it with a marine contractor. I'm begging you to look at it in your decisions that you make as a park commission. Informally or formally.
Okay, so Greg is giving me my instructions here. He wants to let you know that the SRTS draft plan will be posted on the city's website for public review. You're going to post it on the Downtown Association?
Yes.
Business, what's it called? I'm sorry.
But Coos Bay Downtown Association. Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, the next steps after the 2 weeks of public review is to review the public comments, change anything accordingly, and then present to council for final approval. We have a request from our Coco Sutton, our Adopt a Park volunteer. She would like the approval from this commission to post a banner that says no fires at the Vengus Park Community Building, aka Scout Cabin. During fire season, there's no fire suppression within the building. Staff is fine to move forward to assist her with this.
So moved.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, appreciate that.
That's a life safety insurance thing.
Second.
Appreciate
Yeah.
that. I think she just didn't want to move forward and do something without this
appreciate that.
commission's agreement. So we received a grant from the Oregon State Marine Board for the east side parking lot to reseal and restripe. We are going for another grant, a small grant, to purchase a pump for the east side pump station and then to do some Empire boat ramp restroom updates. And, well, that's it.
Okay, awesome. Christina, you good? Okay. Carmen?
Yeah, my comments were pretty brief. I totally shared Tom's vision for the future in terms of the boardwalk. We definitely need to do something there. Finding a path for funding is obviously going to be difficult, but that is not insurmountable. So I'd be down for a walk down there, although I do walk down there and I know the state it's in and it needs help. It definitely needs help. So I would love to find ways to work on funding those projects and updating the master plan. I just feel like all we do is master plans and then just let them be there as master plans. But that's probably leading into my next comment, which is the funding thing. I know that we're talking about a Parks Foundation as a funding possibility, but I still want to continue the general conversation of finding alternative funding sources for parks in general. It's just imperative for us to be able to do anything to achieve any of our goals. We need some funding, and I'd just like to keep that going. That being said, I think we're doing what we can with what we have. I appreciate park staff. I think you do a great job, and you need more help. And I want to find ways to make that happen. So that's all I have.
All right. Awesome. Thank you, Carmen. And I think, again, let's do continue the conversation about funding, because that is an issue. I think the foundation is going to be a key piece to that, and the Adopt a Parks pilot project. I think this was a great opportunity to see how it works in action, so that we can go after those larger projects like skate park, like the boardwalk. So I think that we're doing some of those key pieces, acknowledging the fact that we don't have a lot of funding available to us, and we're figuring out what we can do, and so we can make some big movements. If you look at our parks and how much we've done in the last 18 months, we've done a lot with very little capital money. So I think we should applaud staff and applaud our wonderful grant writer, and just keep plugging away, because we're getting there. We're not there, but we're moving forward, and we're moving out of stagnation. So I think that's important. So I appreciate everybody for being here today, and we are adjourned.
Annual.